The river roared with unforgiving force, splashing against jagged rocks as bullets tore the air above. Smoke from distant explosions mixed with the metallic temps of blood, and somewhere in the chaos, 280 Marines were trapped, pinned down by enemy fire with no clear escape. Every second stretched like hours. Every heartbeat was a reminder that hesitation meant death. And in the midst of it all, a 22-year-old medic named Eliza Moreno stood at the riverbank, staring at the impossibility before her. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Eliza had trained for moments like this, yet no drill could prepare her for the sheer, suffocating weight of responsibility. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the knowledge that the lives of hundreds depended on her courage. The river seemed alive, each ripple mocking the impossible crossing she had to make. She inhaled, the cold night air biting her lungs, and stepped forward. Around her, the battlefield was chaos incarnate. The distant roar of artillery mixed with frantic shouts. The crunch of broken terrain under heavy boots, and the cries of the injured created a symphony of terror and urgency. Each sound drove her forward, each murmur of a Marine calling for help igniting a fire in her chest. Eliza's mind flashed to the faces of the trapped Marines, scattered along the river's far bank. Young men and women like herself, some barely out of boot camp, some seasoned but now vulnerable, pinned and terrified. She remembered her oath, not just to heal, but to protect, to go wherever the wounded needed her, regardless of danger. Her first steps into the river were met with icy resistance. The current threatened to sweep her away with each stride. Bullets hissed past, splashing into water mere inches from her. She thought she'd never reach them. She was wrong. Halfway across, the river fought back, tugging at her boots, threatening to drag her under. But Eliza pressed on, gripping her medical kit like a lifeline, her gaze fixed on the far shore. Her ears rang. Heart pounding with the rhythm of fear and determination fused into one. She visualized each Marine she had trained with, imagining their faces to keep herself steady. The first wounded soldier appeared, clutching his leg, shaking with pain and terror. Eliza dove into action, yanking him close and securing him against her chest. The current pulled at them, and for a terrifying moment, she felt the river's icy fingers grip her entire body. Then, muscles screaming, she kicked and pushed, inching them forward, every motion precise, every breath calculated. Behind her, more Marines called out. She could see their panic, their disbelief at her audacity, but she could not falter. One by one, she reached them, dragging, supporting, and guiding. Her kit became a shield and a tool, wrapping wounds, stopping bleeding, whispering calm over terror. The enemy fire intensified, tracer rounds slicing the night sky. Yet somehow, Eliza's focus never wavered. Time slowed and condensed into the rhythm of survival. Grab, pull, secure, repeat. By the fourth Marine, exhaustion clamped onto her like a weight she could not shrug off. Her legs burned, her arms trembled. Her breath came ragged, but giving up was never an option. Moments later, she felt solid ground under her boots, a small patch of riverbank, offering temporary refuge. The first of the 280 Marines were safe, their eyes wide with awe and disbelief. One young soldier, barely older than she was, whispered, "I thought we were done for." She simply shook her head, offering a fleeting, exhausted smile. "Not on my watch," she replied, voice firm even as her body shivered. The final stretch demanded everything she had left. Enemy fire intensified as the opposition realized the medic was making headway. Every step was a gamble, every rescue a defiance of fate. And then, with a combination of skill, grit, and an unyielding sense of duty, Eliza completed the crossing, delivering the last Marine safely to the far bank. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the survivors. They had witnessed a courage that defied comprehension. Commanders arrived moments later, eyes wide, breaths heavy with relief. They could barely comprehend the scale of what had just happened. Eliza, drenched and shivering, finally allowed herself a deep exhale, but her gaze remained on the Marines she had saved. Pride mingled with exhaustion, and tears threatened, unbidden. She had faced the river, the fire, and the impossible, and emerged, not just alive, but victorious. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits. and it finds its way back. As dawn broke, casting pale light over the river, Eliza stood silently, looking back at the path she had crossed. The water still roared, indifferent to the lives it had almost claimed. But she knew the truth. Courage is not measured by age or size, but by the willingness to act when others cannot. To step into danger when others would step back, and to carry the weight of responsibility when it matters most. If this story moved you, share where you're listening from, and subscribe to Whispered Words for more cinematic tales of heroism, courage, and the selfless acts that change lives.